What is up? Let me highlight the comments here. We are going to wait about 2 minutes until I see some kind of love, some kind of hello, a number next to that I there. I need to see that people are tuned in, that people are excited, that people will be with us tonight to watch tonight's show and to be a part of tonight's discussion. But before we do that, guys, I kind of want to get something complete for myself because every we do this month every we do this show every single month. And last month we had a conversation, and in the middle of the conversation I lost service. And I want to just be completely open with you guys, completely transparent. I was having a day and I allowed that to defeat me. Okay. I allowed that to become the excuse. Okay. Not the reason, nothing legitimate. I allowed that to be the excuse to not complete the show. I could have at some point gotten back on, and I decided not to. I was just in a space, and I felt that because of the space that I was in, I was not going to really have the impact or make the impact that I wanted to have with that show. And I never completed that conversation. And so I feel that it's super important to start tonight with getting that complete for myself, right? And allowing you guys the opportunity to get it complete for yourself too, because it was an interesting topic. Okay. It was definitely something that got people's attention. We promoted it. People were excited to have that conversation. And I allowed that to stop me from getting back on. So I want to apologize. It's not something that I am committed to doing. I'm committed to, delivering the message, really making a difference with you guys. And I'm committed that moving forward, nothing stops me, that I do not allow anything to stop me. So I hope that you guys forgive me. I hope that you guys continue to tune in and you guys continue to share this. I just like being open. It wasn't complete for me. And so I had to share that with you guys. Okay. So that is what happened last month. It's definitely a conversation that we need to finish. But tonight, I think that it's super important to have the conversation that we're going to have with the guest that we're going to have it with, because I know it's something that will make a difference, especially because it's Pride Month. Okay, shout out to Pride Month. Okay. So tonight you'll get to hear, some challenges, some struggles, some victories, some highlights, some maybe coming out stories. You'll get a lot out of tonight. And so I invite you to really, pull up a chair or go sit on that corner of the sofa that's the most comfortable for you, and just really be in a space to receive and really have this conversation. And before we do anything, you guys know that we need to share the live, whether you're watching it from my personal Facebook page, or you're watching it from my business Facebook page, or you're watching it on YouTube, wherever it is that you're tuning in from. Please, please, please make sure that you share it, that you post it on your social medias, that you send it out to your friends, and you let people know that we're having this conversation, because it's going to be good, it's going to be juicy, and it's really going to make a difference. So we're going to start with the introduction. We have some rock star guests in our backstage. Super excited and just ready to share with you guys. We have them. What you should know is they said yes yesterday. I think it was yesterday that I extended the invitation and I came up with the idea. And just like that, they were like, sure, we're in, we're with it, let's do it. And so I'm like, dang, that, these are the types of rock stars that I surround myself with, the type of people that are just so selfless, right, with giving back to our community. And so that's what we're doing tonight. So again, share the live and make sure that you comment shared once you do that. So our guest tonight, guys, first we have rock star mom, someone whose story is definitely going to impact you, someone that I have known for several years, that has been my business partner, and most importantly, my friend, and someone who I personally saw go through a journey that really, really, really does will make a difference for you guys tonight. So hopefully she'll be willing to share some of that. To give you guys a disclaimer, she is home. She does have her baby with her, and she's still willing to be on here and be of contribution. But we may have her like in and out of the show, and that's no problem, right? Everything is no problem. So guys, please help me welcome 31-year-old rock star mom, Liz Molina, to the show. Clap it up. Let's go.
What
Hi,
an
mommy. Welcome.
introduction.
You see that? You see that?
I love
Welcome,
it.
welcome, welcome. All right. Then we have um this young lady I just met a couple of months ago. She is actually someone that I know through the health and wellness community as well. Someone whose light is just so bright. Someone who creates trends. Like she does things and she makes things pop. Her light is just out of this world. She's super joyful at all times. I mean, I'm sure she has her days, but we definitely don't see them. And she has really come in and just been somebody that we all love. A lot of people don't know her age, and you guys will be surprised. We were surprised right when she said it. I mean, I was surprised when I first learned it. She's backstage and she's eating something. She's always eating. She's a fatty, but she's not a real fatty. Guys, please help me welcome 28-year-old Kia. Copy Kia. Woo! Now you're gonna have to tell people later on why you have that name, because I think that that's super interesting too. Then, guys, without further ado, we have like the couple, right? When it comes to the LGBT community, these two guys are like couple goals. Like, if I can say that, right? I told them that all the time. They're just amazing. They're somebody that one of them I've known for several years. The other I just met, but fell in love with her instantly. Also, someone that has a light about her. They both together, they're like unstoppable, and that's why it's such an honor to have them on the show. And when you guys see the gayness in their shirts, like that's like next level gay. But I promise you guys are gonna love it. It's gonna be your favorite couple goals. We have Aileen and Vicky, 29-year-old and 30-year-old. Here we go. Hey, welcome to the show. Show them your shirt.
Hi. Oh. Better.
We're better together. I love that. You guys have to drop the link.
Yes.
All right. So, guys, first, I want to just acknowledge you again for your willingness to be on the show on such short notice, and for you doing whatever it is that you had to do to be here tonight. Okay. Kia, you can stop eating on the show, right?
I can stop eating.
I mean, you can put it down for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
I'll put it
All right.
I'm good.
Nah, just be yourself. Like, we're gonna have fun tonight. So guys, so the first thing that I'd like to do is, aside of course from the acknowledgement, is to just set the intention for what tonight's intention will be, right? Like, what are you personally looking to get from sharing your stories and answering the questions that I will be asking? What are your personal individual intentions for tonight? So first, coming over to you, Lish.
My personal intention for tonight, honestly, is I want women to know, um, especially women of the community, of the LGBT community, that you can have a baby by yourself. You can have a baby. This works. It's not just all in the movies. You don't need $1 million to do this. And I just want you all to like kind of get that story, get my story on how it came about, and kind of just empower women to know that you got this no matter what.
You can have a baby by yourself. Say it again. Yes. Yes, let's go. And we'll
Yes.
talk a little bit more about what that means, okay? Thanks, Lish. Next, we'll come over to Kia. Kia, what is your intention for tonight, baby?
My intentions is just for whoever hears me tonight, or any of us, if they have a similar story, that they're not alone, or just getting different perspectives of our different lives.
Got it.
Mine.
Yes. And why is your name Copy Kia? Tell the viewers why your name is Copy Kia. Guys, this is
So,
interesting. Listen up.
so I always had mentors and other people that I've learned from, and I've always copied and pasted. So whatever I learned from other people, I would want other people to learn from me. So, copy Kia.
I love it. And when she told me why, she said if you're gonna copy somebody, you better, I mean, why not
Copy the
copy
right cat.
Kia?
Yep. Or
Copy the
copy
right
Kia.
cat. Let's go. Drop some hearts in the comments for that. Like seriously. And I know that, to some people, I mean, like that may have like completely flown over your head, but like, man, right? Be the type of person that other people want to copy. That's dope.
Exactly.
That's dope. Thank you for sharing. All right, ladies. Vicky and Aileen, what is your intention for tonight?
I think my intention for the night is just to show others that they're not alone. They're not, and you can be who you are and not be afraid of what the repercussions of that are. You can love no matter what, and there isn't a specific plan for who you love. It's all about what's in your heart and not about what's on the outside or who you love, or it's all about what's inside of you. And I think just to allow others to know that you're not alone and that you can be loved, you can give love, and yeah.
Hey, that's a good answer. Aileen, you have anything to add?
I mean, she pretty much just took everything out of my mouth, but no, it's just more so just honestly being yourself, being honest within yourself, not really caring about who has what to say about your lifestyle, who
Right.
you be with, what you choose to do, how you choose to dress or look, or it just be you.
Got it. Got it. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, so let's get into these questions. Before we do that, I want the audience to know, whoever is watching, that these ladies have no idea what I'll be asking tonight. Okay. Again, they accepted the invitation to be on the show just last night. Okay. So they have no idea what I'll be asking. So nothing is scripted, nothing is rehearsed. They didn't have an opportunity to like prepare their answers. It's kind of like a conversation. The question is coming at you, and they get to answer it in their voice and be themselves tonight. Okay, so that's super dope. And I like to do that because I think that a lot of times when you know what's going to be asked of you, or when you know what the topic is or what to expect, you can get in your head about it and you're like, oh my God, and we don't want anything here to be scripted. Okay. In fact, I got my questions on on notes in my phone. Okay. Like I was like an hour ago. Okay. So I want you guys to know, like, this is super casual and super chill. So, the first question is, like, how did you know that you were attracted to someone of the same sex? Like, what is that, because obviously, right, we're going to lead into your coming out story, right? And obviously how your parents reacted, or the people in your lives reacted, right? And like, what was their response? But like, how did you know? Like, when did it start? How did it start? Because we may have someone viewing it that may be in that age range, right? That may be questioning themselves. So that's why I think that this part is so important, right? So we'll start with you, Lish. We're just going to continue everything in the order that you guys came in, so that way we just keep everything kind of in a flow. Okay. So Lish, talk to us. How did you know?
Yeah. I was a baby. Like, legit, I was very young. I was very young when I realized, like, I have these butterflies and these feelings for a girl, but growing up, all you hear is, boy, 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 and I'm like, but this boy ain't doing nothing for me, but this girl is making me like smile so much. And I remember being like in grade school, like second grade, being in, and nobody knows this, like being in a cubby and like having a kiss with a girl.
Mm.
And it was just like, so like, it lit me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was. I just thought it was like we were playing, and that's what it was. But I always thought like, am I going to marry a boy or am I going to marry a girl? And then high school came, and I was my mom will tell you, I was very boy crazy. Like, I had a new boyfriend like every 2 weeks. And it was only because, trying to mask the fact that I actually liked girls.
Right.
And never had sex with a man, never seen a man naked, man's never seen me naked. So it never got down to that point. It was just,
Right.
oh, I have a boyfriend. I have a boyfriend.
Mm.
But then I met my first girlfriend, and it was like, this was it. Like, that was it. It was a wrap. Exactly.
Pitter patter.
And the funny thing is, yeah, exactly. And then the funny thing is, first of all, I'm in high school. I'm this little petite, little short thing. And my first girlfriend is like full on butch. Right? So I bring her home, and she's older than me. So we were dating for a little bit, and then, of course, one Sunday before church, my mom comes and wakes me up, and she's like, I was in the basement of the house, so she stands at the top of the steps, and she's like, hey, you got to get up, you got to be ready for church. So I'm standing at the bottom of the steps, and I looked up at her, and I was like, Mom, I got to tell you something. And she was like, what? And I'm like, Mom, but you can't tell Dad. And she was like, what, Alicia? What? Who's down there? I'm like, nobody's down here. I just have to tell you something.
Right.
And I was like, but you really can't tell Dad. And she's like, what? And I was like, I don't like boys. And she was like, what? And I was like, I don't like boys. And she was like, what do you mean? Like, just today? Like, you don't like boys? And I was like,
like,
no,
right now.
Yeah. And so she goes, but this is what she said to me. She goes, just start getting ready and come upstairs. So I said, okay, mind you, I'm downstairs. I'm freaking chirping my girlfriend at the time, because it's the freaking chirp phones.
Oh my God.
Yes. And I'm like, oh God, it's about to go down. So I go upstairs, and my dad comes in. He like went and got breakfast for us, and my mom's sitting at the table with me, and she starts talking to him. And my dad was more so like, I don't understand. Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't understand what you're saying to me. Like, what do you mean you don't like boys? And my mom was more calm about it. My dad was a little more loud than her. And my mom was just a little bit confused. And when I showed them the picture of who I was dating and things like that, they, their first reaction was, oh no, we got to take her out to school. We can't, like, and then my mom,
yes, definitely the school. Yeah.
Yeah. Once it like clicked to her, and we went to church, and we all cried and everything like that, it was like, if this is who you're gonna be,
come on,
then that's fine. My mom has always said, if you don't accept my daughter, you don't accept me.
Come on, Mom.
Coming out was a little bit easy. Yeah, coming out was a little bit easy for me, because growing up, my mom would always tell us, like, I don't care who y'all date. They could be purple, they could be Asian, they could be black, but she never said same sex. It was always that they could be so different.
Yeah.
So when I came out, it was just like, this person is different. So I always had big support, even when my grandparents didn't at first support it. But my mom still told them, like, listen, if she's not welcome, neither am I.
Oh,
so I've always had that support. And so I came out at 14. This was 14. And
14 years old.
And it wasn't a phase. It's still not a phase. I'm still a lesbian.
Right. It's still there. Feelings are still
here.
Yeah. And so many people it's interesting that you share that, and even the grade school part, because so many people will say, like, there's no way that you could know at that age. Right?
No,
like, this is
my mom today, she'll tell you straight up, my daughter was born this way.
Yeah.
Like,
you
legit. And I know that.
You do get that, her reaction is a blessing, right? That was definite. Like, their reaction is just not how things normally go, right?
No,
you
and
do
they're
get
not,
that.
because I had a girlfriend who, like, was my friend, who came out, and her parents beat her like a chick in the street. They tried to beat the gay out of her. And so hearing that and seeing that and knowing how my family, how open they were, like, it's, to me, it is a major blessing, because I've known friends that did not have that, and
Yeah.
to see how the struggle, the mental and emotional torture that it caused them, like, it's definitely a huge blessing. And it gave me a path from my life to live it authentically without having to worry, like, I don't have the support at home. Like, it made me feel like I don't care what anybody else says. My parents got my back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it wasn't, for me, I wasn't afraid to be me in the world, because at home I was allowed to be me.
And you were accepted. Yeah.
Oh, child. Move on to
Child,
the
let's
next
go.
person.
Come on. Come on. But you know, and that, you know, just for everyone that's watching, that is not the normal reaction, okay, of a parent. Okay, that is not how it normally goes, right? It does not always, like, there's it doesn't always go this way. So we'll hear a little bit more stories as we go along. So Kia, you're up next. How did you know? How did you know that you were into chicks?
Well, oh, sorry, Ember's freaking out in the background. But
We're gonna sip to that. We're gonna
Oh,
pour
wait.
to that. We
Yeah,
pour
yeah.
together. We pour together. Pour. Come on, pour it up. I got my collagen and my pomegranate lift off in here, guys. All right.
Hold on.
Okay.
I don't know who she's barking at, but
That's her baby. That's her baby, guys, barking in the background.
That's my little baby Ember, fur baby. But anyways, wow, when did I know I was gay, or not even?
How
that.
did you know?
Like, how did I know?
Yeah.
Well, for starters, I never liked wearing dresses when I was little. I told my mom to always put me in a pantsuit, everything. I always thought women were attractive, even like playing house when you were little, right? I wouldn't play house.
We
with,
just had
like,
this
my
conversation.
guy friends. I'd be playing house with my girls that were my friends, right? And like, I just always knew that since, I don't know, I would say like 4th, 5th, 6th grade.
Wow.
I was
Wow.
digging teachers. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, why do I feel this way?
Yeah. Questioning.
then- Growing up, like, when I was with other friends, I would just play that role and do what my other friends were doing. But deep down, I knew that I wanted to be with a woman. Like, I wasn't interested in the guys.
It's different.
But I had my fair share with men. But
Okay.
I officially wouldn't say came out. I just kind of went with the flow and just started bringing this one person I was starting to see who was involved with my basketball team. And I just kept bringing her over and over more and more. And then I changed my style up. And then my mom ended up just being like, you know, whatever you want to do with your life and wherever your path takes you, I'm cool with. It was never like I had a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
It just kind of happened, and they just went with the flow.
It was kind of like, you see it, you know what's going on.
You see it.
I'm not hiding it. So there was never an official conversation that was had between you and your parents.
Nope.
No, it
I
was
just
just
sprung
sort
it
of
on
like observation.
Yeah.
Both your father and your mother?
Yeah, I actually, my father wasn't really in the picture all like that. So
Got it.
when we did link, I was currently talking to somebody at the time, and she came with me. And
Okay.
I kind of sprung it on him too, like, oh, this is my girlfriend.
Yeah, got it.
And
Surprise!
either accept it or don't accept it.
Right.
And then we'll go from there.
Got it. So you also get that the way that your mom reacted was a blessing.
Yes, very supportive.
It's not always how it goes.
Right.
But thank you for sharing that. All right, we're gonna go over to the couple next. I can't wait to hear Vicky and Elise. Woo! Let's go. Who's gonna go first?
Oh, I am. Okay. So I knew I was 7 years old. I knew that I liked girls. I was 7, I was in 1st grade, and it was in the girls' bathroom. And it was the first time that I ever saw a girl outside of my family undressed. And I remember looking at her and thinking that she was so beautiful. And internally, I had this thing in my head, like, why do I find this girl attractive? Like, this isn't the life that I'm supposed to have. I grew up in a very Christian household, and although my grandparents never seemed homophobic or anything like that, it was the principle that in God's eyes, am I doing the right thing? I was very involved in church. I was a missionary. I went in vacation Bible school. I was a counselor. I did all kinds of things with the church. So I just was terrified that God was going to see what I felt, was going to see what I did, and I was judged for it. But I knew at 7 years old, I knew that I was attracted to women, and I held it back for a very long time. And not because I don't think any of my family would have felt a way. I was more so scared of how God was going to feel.
Wow.
In that way.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Awesome. All right, we'll come back to you for your coming out story, okay? Aileen?
All right, so for me, I kind of always found girls attractive, but believe it or not, I was, like Alicia said, I was a little boy crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I thought boys were cute. I thought girls were cute. It wasn't up until, like, maybe middle school, I started, like, having crushes on girls.
Right.
One girl in particular, I think she knew that I had a crush on her, and she would just call me out on it, and I would just deny it, and I would deny it because I didn't want anyone else to know.
Right.
My secret, I felt. And then I also wanted to just keep the image that I had for my parents.
Right.
I thought that my mom or, my father would treat me away. You're kind of like, you're told, like, this is what it is, and this is what it's supposed to be, and this is what you need to make sure it is. And it's just like, so how does that doesn't leave me any room to be who I am, because I feel I'm this person inside. So that's what I want to be. So it's like, who are you to tell me who I can be? I mean, yes, you're my parents and things like that, but I mean, you created me, but you don't write my story. I write my own story. So for me, like, it was important for me to tell my mom in particular, because there was a girlfriend that I had at the time, and we were friends, but she would go over to my house. And I respect my mom. I didn't want my mom to get a phone call from a friend and say, hey, do you know where Eileen's at? And she says, no. Well, I see her on this corner kissing this girl. It wouldn't make my mom feel good. It would make her feel terrible, because I didn't trust her to tell her. But it was so hard to tell her, like, so hard. I had to tell a family friend. I mean, my mom was literally the only one in my family that didn't know. I hated dresses, anything girly. I hated. I loved basketball. I mean, I used to cut crates, put crates up to play basketball. Like, I was just always with the boys.
Right.
But she would buy me these dresses. I mean, I used to rip holes in my stocking when I was in school on purpose so I can leave school. I just didn't like it. I wasn't comfortable with it.
Right.
And I sat down with a friend and was like, listen, I need you to help me tell my mom that, like, I'm gay. Like, I like girls. Because I confided in her. But, like, when I told my mom, it was like her world crumbled a little bit. It was just that, like, I mean, you always think, or people think that, a man and a woman is supposed to be together because that's where the children come from. But like Alicia said, you can have a kid on your own. You don't need a kid.
Right.
So it's just like, that's what she was more so worried about. And it took a little bit of time for her to get used to the fact. Yeah. But I just needed her to know from me so that she didn't hear it from anyone else. Yeah. So my father was a bit different. I had to write him a letter because he was in jail. Okay. But he called me and I didn't want to talk about it, but I had to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So she was upset. Your mom was upset.
Yeah, she was hurt. She didn't treat me differently.
Okay, good.
Not what she wanted to hear, I guess.
Right.
My mom loves me to the moon and back. Right. Always has. It just was, I mean, for a mom, it was just something difficult for her to take in at the time. Yeah. And eventually it is what it is. It's not she likes girls.
It's not a phase. It's not going away. It's real. It's here to stay.
It is.
How about you, Vicky?
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, to piggyback off of what Aileen is saying, as a parent, even me now, I'm a parent, I am a lesbian, and I'm proud of it. But I can say, nobody wants their child to be gay. And I'm going to say this again for all of y'all. Nobody wants their child to be gay.
Yeah.
This life is not easy. It doesn't matter the acceptance that you get. This life is not easy. So to have a child now, I, of course, would accept Isaiah. Like, even if I wasn't a lesbian, I would accept my child 100%.
Right.
But is it a life that I want for him? No.
Yeah.
Do I want him to have a life where it has some type of because he's a boy, he has two moms, he's brown, and he's mixed.
Right.
To add gay on top of that, that's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would want my child to be able to have that thing where he's like, I'm straight and I don't, there's just that life that I don't want for
It's
him.
a lot to deal with.
But
yeah.
again, it is. But if he came to me telling me that he's gay, absolutely, he has my full support. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
So a lot of parents, like that feeling that you get when your child comes out of, feeling like your world crumbles. It's okay to feel like that.
Yeah.
Because you know that this life is not easy. What's not okay is to push your child away and to make your child feel like what they're doing is wrong, when at the end of the day, they're just loving. They're not hurting nobody. They're not killing nobody. They're just loving somebody who makes them feel comfortable and makes them feel safe.
Yeah.
Right.
Loving and allowing themselves to be loved and returned.
Exactly.
To me, it's almost like, would you rather I be with a woman, or would you rather I be with a man that does not make me happy? Right.
Exactly.
And so it's kind of like but thanks for sharing that, because you're you're absolutely right. You don't hold your baby and like, oh my God, oh my God, I hope you are gay. I hope you like girls, or I hope you like boys too. So yeah, you want grandchildren, you want all of that, right? And again, this show is a reminder that's still possible. So Vicky, let's hear your coming out story.
So my coming out story was it's kind of rocky, because so I wanted to come out when I was like 12. I had a friend who, she herself was a lesbian, and we were best friends in school. She was a little bit older, and she had issues with her family, and she ended up coming to live with us. And we were just friends, but one night stuff had happened, and it was something that for me I felt was wrong, but I liked it. I wanted to come out, and I went to school after it happened, and I remember getting on the bus, and there were these two girls who were on the bus, and they were holding hands, and the two girls, when they got to their bus stop, they got off the bus, and they were sitting on the bus, and this man got off the bus, and he took his soda and he threw it at the bus window and said, "You fucking faggots." And it was the most scariest thing that I ever saw, because that could be me. If I go out here and I tell people that I like girls, somebody could throw something at me and call me that name. So I suppressed it again. And then when I was 15, my grandmom, she raised me, and she raised me to be very open with her. So in that battle that I had from 7 years old on, with, is this right in God's eyes? Is it not? I decided that the best thing I could do would be to tell my grandma, because at least someone would know. And I told her, and of course, with the amazing person that she is, she completely and utterly loved me just as I was. And then she told my mom, and then they told my aunts, and it was like, everyone loved me. And God doesn't just make things happen to you and then, like these people still love me. So if they still love me, God made it that way. So maybe he still loves me. But I think the only person that I was terrified to tell was my dad. And that was because my dad was a frequent faggot user. That was a very big word. And it was frequently used to describe anyone that was different. So I was terrified to tell my dad. I did not want him. And then my older sister actually is a lesbian as well. And when she came out, it was very difficult for her to come out. So when she came out, my dad had a very negative reaction to it. So it just made me 10 times scared to tell my dad. And I think I didn't come out to my dad until I was like 19. And it was kind of just like, okay. And then it was from there on, it's like equal rights for everyone. And like, he's ready to go to Pride. Like, let's do this. Like, so it ended up being so amazing and so powerful to be able to see that I still was able to receive that love, and that no matter what anyone else's opinion of me, I had that love from my family. I had that love and support from my friends. So anyone else's opinion really doesn't matter. And I know that God loves me no matter what, no matter what I love, no matter what I do. I am loved. So.
Let's go. And it's interesting that he had that reaction with you. I'm sure your sister was like, "Yo, wait a minute, what just happened here?"
Yeah. So
what just happened here? But that's not, it's not how it goes for everyone. It certainly is not how it went for me. Okay. And I'm not gonna get emotional because I'm a G. But I very similar to a lot of your stories. I was young, I dated men, yes, I had a baby, yes, I did all of that, yes. And then I would have relations with women, right? And I would always just keep it on the intimate level. And then when I want to say about 20, my late 20s, no, late 20s, yeah, late 20s, early 30s, I met someone that was like just remarkable, right? And initially when I met her, I was like, don't catch any feelings. This is just not something that I do. This is for recreational purposes only, with the disclaimer, you know what I mean? And then I saw myself just like, wanting to spend more time with her and wanting to be with her, and wanting a connection, wanting something more than temporary satisfaction, I should say, right? She and I were really close, and this was like the friend that I was always with. And something happened with my job. I went through something, and my mom is like, I think it's a great idea. Why doesn't she move in with you? You guys should live together and be roommates. That way she can help you. And little does she know that, I'm like, this she basically lives with me. Like, we basically live together. That's what's going on, right? Like, this friend of mine, this like best friend of mine per se. So we end up being together, and obviously I had to come out. My entire family was amazing. My one cousin was like, I don't care if you're with a horse. Like, I don't care if you're with an elephant. I don't care. Like, I don't care. So my entire family was completely amazing, completely supportive. And then I had to come out to my mom. And my mom had an anxiety attack. Okay. And what's interesting is that this, just so you guys know, so that everything is clear, this stream is live on my personal Facebook. So it's the first time I'm ever talking about anything like this. Okay. It's on my personal Facebook, it's on my business Facebook, and it's also on my YouTube. So there is a possibility that she's tuned in. Okay. So her reaction was just completely right, not of support. Honestly, it was so dramatic that I thought that I was going to lose my mom that day. Okay. It was like an anxiety attack. It was kind of like what? What is happening? What is going on? It's just not how things go, right? It's just not how things are supposed to go. Very, very, very religious background, very Catholic family, right? We are like that family. Everywhere we go, people know we're like altar servers. We sing in the choir. We read at the masses and things like that. So it was like very difficult for her to get and understand. But obviously, eventually over time, she was still the loving mom. She was still the supportive mom, and but it was never really something that she accepted. Right. I assert that she thought, or may have thought, up until recently, that it was a phase for me, that it was just something that was temporary, because after that relationship, I was in a relationship with a man. Okay. And then in that relationship, there was just a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations, a lot of things that happened and took place. And after that relationship, I was by myself for a very long time, right? I was single, and just dating wasn't even on my radar. I'm building a business, I'm building a brand, I'm building myself after something like that. And so she is still someone that at this age, at 41 years old, I am afraid to talk to about my sexuality, right? Like I hide, there are things that I don't post on my Facebook because I don't want her to see it. And this is me being completely open and completely transparent, because there's someone on this show that's going to watch that and be like, that's me, right? That's me. So this, in a sense, is my way of saying, yes, this is who I am, because for a long time too, I hid it from my business. It was just like, nobody needs to know what I'm doing behind closed doors, because I felt that in a way it would affect my business, that it would hurt my business. And then I realized, right, especially now that I'm older, is that the right people will stay, right? I will attract the right tribe. I will continue to build with the right people. And so this, in a sense, guys, viewers, everybody, Lish, Kia, everybody, this in a sense is a way of me taking a stand for myself and my sexuality. You feel me? So thank you guys. Like, I cannot thank you enough for being a part of this. So the next question for you guys is, what would you say your biggest challenge is being someone in the LGBTQ community? What would you say your biggest challenge is? Lish, coming over to you. Lish is over there texting. These phones, man, they make everything so easy for us.
No, I'm sorry because I'm trying to get some headache medicine. My biggest challenge, I think, and it's so funny because I said this the other day, or not the other day, I've been saying this more recently. My challenge is that I don't look like a lesbian. Now, what does a lesbian look like?
Right.
Lesbians look like everybody. Okay?
That's the thing that everybody says, right?
I don't look like it. So yes. So dating for me, one, I'm not dating right now. I have a relationship, but dating for me has always been like, you gotta like throw signs and really say things, because it's like, if not, they don't see. It's like, hey, I'm a lesbian. Right here, me. I like girls. I don't like boys. Ew, stop talking to me, man. I want your girl. Like, it's like, it's so like,
Yes.
Very. And I actually the other day had said, like, I am a part of the privileged section of the LGBT community, and I say that because I can go walking down the street and nobody's gonna harass me. My partner can go walking down the street and she gets looked at. Aileen can go walking down the street and she'll get looked at. Kia could go walking down the street and she gets looked at.
Yeah.
I go walking down the street and it's just like I'm a normal person. I don't get the harassment. I don't get the looks. I don't get the dirty looks. I don't get none of that. And so I always say, like, for me, I have that privilege, and I hate saying that, but I have that privilege to pass as a straight woman.
Right.
So it's like a good and a bad thing. Good because in the workforce, I'm not judged off of my appearance. I'm not judged off of my sexuality. Bad because nobody wants to fucking talk to me.
Yeah.
Okay. As other women don't want to talk to me because they look at me and they're like, and she has a baby. This girl's straight.
No, she's straight. She is so straight. She's as straight as they come. Yes. Yes.
Straight. And it's funny because every time I talk about Isaiah, I put it a disclaimer. He was born through IVF. No penis was involved in the making of this child. So it's like, just get the gist. Like, get the gist. It's not, but I think that's the hardest part is because I look so straight.
Yeah.
And what the straight and what they look like, I don't know. But it's just always like, oh, I'm not gonna, and I'm very shy in that part of like, I don't go up to females and just talk to them or anything like that. So that's for me the struggle.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, because people are like, what? What? I didn't know. Oh yeah, I don't walk around with like a sticker on my shirt that says like
I like the lip.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's uncensored, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Because
Man, I'm sure it's
And
a little
I
bit
think all
different
of us,
for
because we're grown.
yeah.
Yeah, we're
I think
all
it's
grown,
different.
so none of us walk around with like rainbow things.
Yeah. Like, like gay pride is gay pride, right? Like this month, you gonna see it all over my social media.
Period.
But I ain't walking around with the Jan Shansky all day. Okay.
No,
I ain't doing it. All right. It's not necessary.
You have that phase right when you come out, your rainbow, you got rainbows coming out of your fucking
You
ears,
want everybody
okay?
to know.
You want everybody to know. You want
That rainbow belt
everybody
was
to know that you are gay.
Yeah.
And then it just dies, and then you're like, I'm not wearing that. And then you see all the new baby gays, and you're like, oh, look at them.
Oh, look at you.
He's
Look at
repping
you.
the
You are
flag.
proud. You are so
Not
proud.
the
It's
baby
every
gays. Not the baby gays.
How about for you, Kia? What would you say your biggest challenge is as being someone in the community, in the out?
Well, I definitely didn't have Lish's problem where no one knew I was gay. Everyone knew I was gay. But my problem was, I would say my challenge, everyone knows I love kids, right? And when kids come up to you and you have to explain whether you're a boy or a girl,
Come on.
and then also not even that, but like even just some women and definitely men just would have the ignorance to not even pay attention to see who you are, to see like, is that a woman or is that a man? Because you can tell. Do you feel like you guys can tell that?
Yeah, I can tell. Can y'all tell, audience? Can y'all tell?
I'm just, I don't know, but
You can tell you're a girl.
I just ignore the ignorance, or if they notice when I speak that I'm not a man or that I'm not a sir, they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad, or just walk away.
Yeah.
And not even acknowledge like, oh, I fucked up.
Yeah. Gotta love me and Aileen were just talking about this. I promise you, Aileen was about to share the same thing. Like, is that a boy? Is that a girl? What is that?
The kids.
And the kids, like, and then you have to explain, and they're like, huh? It's like,
And they don't know.
girl, I
Like,
just
anything
dress
by
in baggier clothes, maybe bigger t-shirts. I'm still a
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah.
and they're like, wait, but that boy got boobs.
Yeah.
Is that a boy or a girl?
Yeah.
A girl.
What about for you guys? Tell me your challenge. I'm sure it's pretty much in the same area.
I was gonna say for me,
She's
it's
definitely straight in everybody's eyes.
I was gonna say like people just look at me and they're like, yeah, she's straight, and it's just like how is lesbian supposed to look though?
Like me, like Kia. That's
just-
what people think.
That's my biggest struggle, and also on her biggest struggle with the whole like people going like, are you a boy or are you a girl? Clearly she's a girl, and by her voice you can tell she's a girl. Like, I mean, she's got great boobs, come on. Like, so frustrating when people like do things like that. Well, are you a girl or are you a boy? And it's just like it's
ignorant.
It's an ignorant thing to ask.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you really need to like get those answers, like pull her off to the side or something. But like, I don't know. We've seen it too many times where it's just like people like openly like,
I mean, it's
are you a
even,
boy or are you a girl? And it's not just kids; it's also old people too. Like older
Yeah.
people, like
Yeah.
little old ladies always think she's a boy. You
Yeah.
know,
Still love
just
them, though.
yeah.
What would you say as far as like being in a couple in the LGBT community? Like, let's talk a little bit about the stares and stuff that we get, and when you're walking down the street holding hands, and if you're in public and you're kissing, and the kind of like the side eye and stuff, because it's like they've never seen it before.
Right.
So as a grown-up couple, I feel like it's different than when I was teenage couple.
Definitely.
Teenage couple was very like, oh, I'm afraid to hold your hand. Is somebody gonna look at us weird and stuff like that? Now we're grown. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold your hand. I'm
Like,
gonna kiss you if
yes.
I want to. Like, you don't want to
So-
see it, cover your eyes.
out of respect for children and out of respect for like
Same.
elderlies and
Yes.
things like that,
Definitely.
we don't, I'm not gonna kiss her while we're in a kid's park. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna if my wife is leaving for work and someone's walking by, I'm not gonna say, well, can't kiss you right now, honey,
There's
because
a
someone's
stranger.
walking by. No, I'm gonna kiss my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I
I want to
think
kiss you right
as
now.
as a teenager, that was much different. As a teenager, it was very fearful of what people are gonna say, what they're gonna think. Are they gonna call me a faggot because I'm holding a girl's hand?
Yeah.
They're gonna throw something at me because I kissed her in public.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think today there's much more progress than there was many years
Yes,
ago.
A
definitely.
lot more.
Although there's
Need
still
to live.
so much more to be improved.
Yes.
I think from the lifestyles of LGBT community back then opposed to now, I feel like there's been a dramatic like change in people's opinions.
Yeah.
Get so many dirty stares. I get people who are like, oh, okay, you guys are wives. Okay, that's cool.
It's a bit more.
So it's a bit more accepting now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we still get stares from time to time. Some people are a little confused, like, oh, you guys are wives.
I mean, even Layla's bothered by it. Like, we were
Yeah.
in the dollar store, and I was helping this cute little old lady get the paper towels that was yay high. She's like, oh, you don't see too many gentlemen in this world anymore. Layla was kind of like, Mom, did she just call you a boy?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Layla, it's all right. Like, it's okay. She
Yeah.
don't know no better.
Yeah. That's interesting. I would say for me, as a businesswoman, again, for me, I really, really struggled with the just making my sexuality public because of how it may have impacted my business. And obviously didn't have anything to like announce or anything like that. And again, we're not walking around with like these shirts about our sexuality and who we're dating and what we're doing behind closed doors. Like, in the daytime, I'm a coach. At night, after 9 p.m., I check in. Right? I check in. But so for me, like that was the biggest struggle. It's like, how is this going to impact my business? Right. And I felt so free. Like when I did that first post and was like, here you go. It was like, boom. But I always remembered how my cousin would tell me, man, after you hit 40, like you really give less fucks. It's just like it's like as the days pass, you're like more yourself, more tapped in, more tuned in, and more and more comfortable with who you are and who you've become and what you've gotten through. And so that's definitely where I am. So thank you guys. All right, so the last question, because we only have 5 minutes, and I really want to honor everyone's time. Again, continue to acknowledge you guys for your yes and for your willingness to be on here. I think it has been an amazing show. We definitely got to have Lish back to talk about, her journey with having a baby. Man, I mean, I promise you, we witnessed it ourselves. We saw what that was like. So we definitely want to have you back on the show. And I'm sure that there's other reasons why we would have you other ladies back on the show. So, the final question is like, what does acceptance, like what does the acceptance of your sexuality and like really and pride really looks like for you, right? Because again, we have Pride Month, and I think that there's this like stigma or this like misconception about what the month is not a month where we're like just again posting about it and just boasting about it and kind of like look, this is, look at me, this is who we are. It's like I think it's more for me, rather than pride, it's really an acceptance thing for me, I feel. So what does that really look like, and what advice would you have for someone that is struggling with coming out, for someone that doesn't feel comfortable with being themselves, like being you and being open about their sexuality? So Lish, we'll start with you.
Pride for me has always been it, it's so crazy because when you know the history and you learn the history about the LGBT community, to know the things that we had to go through, and I say we because collectively it wasn't just one part of the community. Every single one of us has been affected by something or someone. To know the battles and the humps and the trials that every single person had to go through to make pride actually be a thing for a whole month, to give people the strength and the courage to walk down the street with a flag in their hand. To me, it fills me with so much like thankfulness. Like I'm grateful for being who I am and being able to be open about who I am. So I think pride, it just goes in all aspects of my life. It goes into me being a woman, into me being a Puerto Rican woman, Afro-Latina, a mother, a daughter, just all of it, like a lesbian, all of it. It goes hand in hand with everything. And there's not a piece of me or anybody that I know that where we can say like, we try to dim the light of this part of us, especially during this time, because it's like, yo, so many people have if you just know the history. I'm trying to like save time because I know we only have a few minutes, but to know the history and just to see the things that we have overcome as a community, it's just like, as I think, and I hope I'm not being disrespectful at all, but the pride that we get from our people of color, that pride, like damn, like we overcame a lot. I feel like we hold the same because it's like at one point, just so many years ago, it was illegal for Vicky and Aileen to exist.
Yeah. Publicly.
It was, they would have been killed, or they publicly they would have been killed, or they would have been, their house destroyed, or anything like that, just because there were two women. Their marriage would not have even been legal.
Right.
So for me, pride is all of that. Pride is just having that joyfulness to know that we exist and it's okay for us to exist.
Let's go. I love it. Love the answer. Kia, coming over to you, babes.
For me, pride and acceptance, to me really just means being accepted by anyone and having a community that supports me for who I am. Pride, like I honestly, this weekend we're having Pride in Pittsburgh and I wasn't even aware. It's like I had a friend tell me like, oh, I'm going to the Pride Parade. And I was like, Pride Parade? And she was like, yes, it's this weekend. I was like, oh
Wow.
my God. So yeah, I didn't even know it was going. Oh, I didn't even know what was going on here in my own city. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna participate now that I know. I'm definitely
Yeah.
gonna feel love and everything. But honestly, pride and being happy and being just who you are is an everyday thing.
Yeah.
So, and my advice to somebody is just the bark.
Woof.
But just be who you are. I know it might be tough for somebody, or it might be, their parents, they already know that it's not going to work. Just still be who they are,
Mm,
and maybe eventually down the road tell them. But you don't have
mm.
to tell, or you don't have it. Now let me go back a little bit. It might not be a right now thing to express yourself to someone that's super close to you, or someone who you already know that's going to deny the situation or the fact that you like the same sex, or whatever the case may be, transgender, whatever. But just still be who you are in the moment. Whether you're when you're away from that loved one or that parent, like, yeah, you'll eventually have to say something.
Right.
But still live in the moment. Be around the people who are going to support you now. Because when that time comes to say something to your parents, or to say something to a loved one, or whatever the case may be, you have that supportive background to help you through that moment.
A little army.
Your
A
little
little army of supporters. Yes.
Exactly.
Let's go.
So whether it goes bad or good, you still have that support either way.
Let's go. Thank you, Kia. Vicky and Aileen?
So for me, pride and acceptance is exactly that. I'm prideful. I'm proud to be who I am. I don't really care who agrees with it, who disagrees with it. For me, my loved ones are who matter to me because they know me as a person.
Right.
Anyone else who doesn't accept it, they just don't accept what they see because they don't know me.
Yeah.
So you don't accept what? You don't accept my appearance because you don't know the person that I am. I mean, I could be straight on the inside. You don't know. You haven't taken the time to get to know anyone, but it's just you're going off of these stereotypes and what's perceived as right and wrong. And like Alicia said, like the LGBT community has come a very long way, and I'm proud of what where we have gotten with it. And again, I mean, I married the woman of my dreams, and
Let's go.
it wouldn't have been possible if that progress wouldn't have taken place.
Right.
So for me, to whoever's listening or whoever needs to hear it, is just be you. Like you accept yourself, and whoever
First.
doesn't accept you, guess what? If they matter to you and you matter to them, eventually they'll accept you. It may take them longer. They may have their own reasons, or they may not understand, and it's okay. We all have different opinions on things.
Right.
But what matters is that you stay true to yourself.
Let's go. Anything to add, Vicky?
For me, I think just having pride and acceptance is just being whoever the fuck you want.
See, I didn't want to curse, but thank you.
It's being whoever you want.
I told you I ain't no filters. Ain't no filters here tonight.
Yes, and it's just loving you. There is nothing wrong with love.
No.
That's what people need to understand. There's nothing wrong with love.
Love has
And
no
just
gender.
let people love who they love. And that's it. And what I have to say to someone who's listening is if you don't feel like you have that love from someone else,
Hit us up.
I love you.
Let's go. Hit us up.
And
Follow us.
if anyone ever needs an ally, you can always find an ally within us. And we're always here to support anyone, no matter how old you are, no matter your sexual preference. You don't have to be a lesbian. You can be straight. I don't care. We love you, and we are proud of you, and we accept you for who you are.
Let's go. Let's go. And you can follow me, guys, on Instagram at Chef Jackie, and you guys will be able to find all these lovely women right on my page so that you can follow them off there as well. And make sure that before you do anything and you get off this live that you share. So lastly, I'll answer that before we wrap up the show. For me, pride is just, it's freedom. You know, it's
Yeah.
really freedom. It's the opportunity to be myself, the freedom to be myself, without concern or consideration for what other people think, right? Because when I really think about it, the people whose idea, whose opinion mattered to me at the time when I was kind of like not out and in the closet and not open about it, they're all living their lives, right? They're doing their thing. They're in their relationships. They're happy, right? They're living it. And so I'll end with the definition of what pride is, like by definition, and it's a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements, the achievement of those with whom one is closely associated, or from qualities or possessions that are widely admired. Second definition is consciousness of one's own dignity. And I think that that was so interesting when I looked that up. Okay. So, again, the second one is consciousness of one's own dignity. All right. So, listen, guys, I love you. I thank you so much for being with me. We ran a little bit over time. We are excited to be with you guys again next month. We don't know yet what the topic will be, but if you have a suggestion, please drop them in the comments section. We apologize for not engaging with the audience so much tonight, but we just wanted to make sure that we stayed focused and that we were able to like really deliver the message. Again, if you have any suggestions, send them over to us and share this live. Ladies, thank you so much. Have an amazing evening and an amazing rest of your Pride 2021. We are out. Let's go.
Bye.
Bye.